What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're sitting here with Jeff.
What's up, guys?
One of the owners of Antler Grow. Right now we're currently down in Florida. We're sitting in a camper because it's extremely hot outside. So we wanted to bring this video to you guys about mineral for deer, being that we have the man here, and we're going to talk about some Antler Grow, mineral for deer, a little bit of land management type of stuff, and Jeff's also going to explain a little bit in the beginning on how they started the company, what, 17
years ago.
17 years ago now.
Was when we started.
Yep.
We went public 3 years ago.
Right. So it's only been 3 years to the public,
yes.
But they've been using it and testing it. Right now we're literally sitting on 3,000 acres of property that they put food plots in, manage, and all that types of stuff. So hope you guys follow along, and we're going to let Jeff take over for a minute, and we'll jump back and forth.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Dave. I mean, it's been fun the last few years having you and, bouncing ideas off each other and learning from each other, because no matter how big or how small, no matter what, no matter who it is, whether you're 5 years old or 50 years old, you can learn from something from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And you might see something but doesn't comprehend, and then all of a sudden somebody says, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we'll call each other all the time.
Absolutely.
And bounce ideas off.
Absolutely. And that's what makes failure is what leads you to success. And that's what started the company. We failed so many times. Everything we did everything like everybody else does. People forget we're a consumer. We consume everything from food to eating to drinking to everything you could think of. Well, you get to the hunting industry, it's overrun with junk.
Yeah.
And there's some great companies out there. You're not here to slander anybody. You're just here to tell people what we found in our own layman's terms. We're regular people. We're no different than anybody else.
Well, it's overrun with stuff that there's no evidence that it works.
No scientific evidence.
There's no data. There's no anything.
It's sales.
Yeah,
it's all
just
boiled down to
sales.
sales. It's money. You follow the money. That's it. We kept this a secret for so many years because we didn't want anybody to know we were doing. Now we're growing 200 inches. We're in Florida.
Yeah.
But when you're growing 150s, 160s in South Florida, you start to go, hey, what the heck's going on here? Something's working here. And we try everything that's on the market. I mean, we throw corn, we do everything, every kind of mineral supplement, whatever you could think of. But it all boils down to nutrition through green and growing plants.
It's already there.
It's already there. It's already there. So all we started doing was enhancing the plants that the deer are eating naturally. Whether it be food plots, which is natural browse that we create, crops, or natural browse that they're walking through nipping all the time. And we preach natural browse. You know that of all people. There's some good studies out there, that show you these things, and it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
We don't try and beat a dead horse and say this is what we got to do this. Everybody has their own opinion. That's perfectly fine.
And the study we're referring to here is from Mississippi.
Mississippi State. Mississippi State did a great study. They took deer from 3 different parts of the state, and from poor soil, great soil, and mediocre soil. And they put these 3 different deer herds in different pens. But they fed them all the same diet, nutrition, not stuff you pour in the ground and all that stuff. And in 2 years' time, all 3 deer were the exact same in body weights and in antler development. The doe lacked, everything was the exact same. I mean, the fawns were healthier, everything just thrived. Well, it all boiled down to a nutritious diet through green and growing plants.
Not something you dump on the ground.
No. Supplemental feeding is for pen deer. That's great for pen deer. I mean, we supplemental feed in the hard times. People do it all the time everywhere all throughout the country. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not saying it's bad, but if you want to take it to the next level, that to grow deer and attract deer as naturally as you could possibly do, enhance what's already there, whether it be a food plot or whatever, because you're adding the nutrients to that plant that the soil's lacking. You can't give it to the plant.
Yep.
The sun provides photosynthesis, does all that, which it gives the vitamins to the plants, while the soil gives the minerals to the plant. So the deer is getting its full vitamins, mineral, diet, the whole enchilada through what it's eating every day. And we say all the time that deer eat 4 to 6 pounds of green and growing plants a day. That's a lot of tonnage.
It is. A lot
so
of food.
If you have 10 deer, that's 40, 60 pounds a day. A day. So you think you're honestly going to be able to enhance anything by putting a pile of stuff out there?
Well, that's the thing. You dump something on the ground. Let's say, just say you have 100 acres.
Yeah.
You dump something on a 3-foot circle. How many deer are actually really going to benefit from that when they eat 5, 6, 7 pounds of something else?
If you can get the nutrients through the green and growing plants, now you're benefiting.
Right.
Not saying that you're not doing any good here, but you're not benefiting.
Yeah.
If you want to take pictures, throw it on the ground. That's great.
Yeah. Concentrate them all down.
Yeah. You can great pictures.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to enhance your area, attract more deer, hold more deer, enhance what's already there, the natural browse, the food plots, all that, then spray it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way we've been able to do it, no matter where we are in the country, no matter where we are. I mean, you go to places, we just been in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a sprayed field, you know, they got feeders, corn, all that stuff, that's fine. But they spray the fields and they spray the browse. They have more deer there on those areas than they do that's not sprayed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're side by side. Nothing's changed except for the one thing, that's
right.
spray.
Right.
You know?
Well, real quick, we had a comment yesterday that somebody said, you know, this would never work, you know, antler grow, referring to antler grow,
In Ohio.
And it would never work in Ohio because they have too much corn.
Too much corn.
Well, corn is not nutrition.
It's ice cream.
It's ice cream. Just like I replied to them and told them,
I would love to eat ice cream every day.
I would love
for
to
a
eat
diet.
ice cream. You know, it's just like corn. You dump corn out, deer are obviously going to eat it.
Yes.
It's a great attractant. But
Yes.
as far as nutrition goes, it's nothing there other than some fat, a little bit.
Carbs,
and
very small bits of protein,
right.
all that, you know, all that. But digestible proteins is what we talk about.
Yeah.
More sticks to the ribs,
Right.
which puts body weight on. And if the body is healthy, then antlers are going to develop, they're going to be healthier and all that. They're going to be bigger. You know, a deer is very unique because it can hold the nutrients for long periods of time and benefit the following year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you can keep that deer healthy, up on its body weight, even though the ruddy goes down so many pounds and all that, you know, from running around. But as soon as he gets done doing that, he's right back on a nutritious diet because he's already been on it. You know, it's going through the rut would be like us going on cheat week. We're on a diet. You know, we take a week off out and eat ice cream every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, now I'm gonna go back on the diet. Did you hurt anything? No.
Right.
Because all the nutrition is still there, and you're still doing it, but it feels good.
Yep.
You know, and that's what we talk about nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
But it doesn't matter if you have 5 acres, 500 acres, or 5 billion acres. You can enhance what's there, whether it's owned, leased, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because this is leased land. This is 3,000 acre leased land.
3,000 acres.
And we do everything. I mean, you know, there's 20 members on this property.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing is set up so that you can see on layman's terms, because most people in the country have 40s and 80s and 120s, 150s. Well, that's how this property is divided up. Everybody does their own thing. I mean, you see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Everybody believes this, and this. But one thing they all have is food plots that are sprayed.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them, because they know that's what's going to do that.
Right.
Now, they might go throw a corn or do this. We had a guy go dump some stuff on his corn the other day, and the deer wouldn't even go near it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but he literally came. We were sitting there by a campfire, and he came over and said, "Oh yeah, it was daughter or something, wasn't it?"
Yes.
Or something. He sprinkled, went to the store, bought this something, sprinkled on the ground, and the deer came to it, and they as soon as they came to it and smelled it, looked at it, or whatever, they ran off.
It's foreign.
Yeah, it's foreign.
It's foreign. You know, and that's the thing about antler grow. It's not foreign.
Yeah.
It's nutrition through plants.
Right.
You know, the sticker that's on it is different than anybody in the country, whether in the agriculture, which we do, the home and garden that we do, or the hunting. And the hunting, it's so potent that you have the same amount of minerals stuck to the outside of the plant as the plant absorbs. So you're benefiting the plant and the animal. Just think of every bite is a mineral lick.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Yeah.
You know, is it the same as what you pour in the ground? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't put salt and attractants, all that other kind of stuff, mineral's bitter. They're not going to eat it.
Right.
But when you put that on the plant, it's normal. It's normal to them. They just know it's more nutritious and they want more of it, so it's attractive that way.
Now to answer this question, because I know somebody's going to say, well, if you plant a food plot, they're going to eat it anyway.
Correct. Absolutely they are.
They will. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. Well, so what's the difference if you just plant a food plot and then you have another food plot, or you take the same food plot and then spray it?
Get down to basics. You plant a food plot, first thing you do is soil test.
Yep.
Okay, you get your pH right. Then when you get that ag license, you know that test back is going to tell you what kind of fertilizers you use, all that, this and that, right? Now, each plant uses different nutrients out of the soil. Each plant uses different fertilizers, right? Some, you know, the cereal grains, all that, your greens, all that, they're like high nitrogen.
Yep.
Low phosphorus, potash. And then some of them, you know, nitrogen fixing, but that's, you know, most people know all this, but some don't. But when you spray that, you're giving it the nutrients that it's lacking. Okay, if you plant the same thing every single year, which most of us are guilty of, turnips, brassicas, you know, some greens, rye oats, wheat, same spot every year. Clover, good example, clover. You got a perennial clover. That clover has been sitting there for 3, 4, 5 years. We've talked to a guy the other day had for 9 years and wonder why it was going down.
Right.
7 or 9 years, I forget, because you get so many conversations. But was wondering why it was down. Well, one, it's life expectancy. It's run that. 2, there's no more nutrients in the soil to give to the plant.
Right, done sucked it all out.
That's why you rotate crops. You know, a lot of guys, when they go plant your first food plot, the best thing to do is plant a cereal grain, rye oats, wheat, something like that for your first food plot. Because what happens is you're only pulling certain nutrients out But when they die off, you're getting the composting stage. You're adding back to it. If you can't take something out if you put nothing in.
Right.
Same thing with a plant. So the plant, if you're adding those nutrients to it, you're going to be more palatable, more attractive. Because I can tell you, millions of people in this country have planted food plots and totally failed.
Oh yeah.
Number one is because of pH. That's the number one thing. But even when the pH is right, all other stuff, it's not as attractive as it could be because it's not having nutrients to thrive. You'll see stunted growth on plants. We were at a 24,000 acre plantation a few weeks ago, on our way back from Ohio.
Yep.
And we went in there and they had sorghum that was this tall. This tall. We have a soil test going off right now. I don't need to do a soil test. They need to pave the whole place over and put condos up. I'm kidding when I say that. But there's no nutrients in the soil.
Yeah. Well, I did a pH and did all the nutrients and the antler grow and all this other stuff. We had 15-foot sorghum.
Yes, it's huge.
Huge.
It's huge. And it makes great walls.
Yeah.
And it's great composting. It's great for green manure, adding stuff back in and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, on this 24,000 acre tract, it's a hunting plantation, pay to hunt. And, we do some consulting and land management stuff and all that and trying to help them on what they need to take it to the next level. Because when clients are paying top dollar, they want to see nice stuff.
Yeah.
Besides the lodge and all that, they want to see a beautiful food plot. They want to see a postcard, TV in their mind, how they sit, how they look. Turkey hunting, quail hunting, pheasant hunting, deer hunting, whatever it might be. They have this picture in their mind. Right. They fly 1,000 miles to go look at it.
I paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
A hunt. Yep. And so anyways, we preach natural browse. We went in there, I said, I'd bush hog between all these pine trees up against the wood edges. He said he's never shot a mature deer on a food plot. I said, well, the whole deal with a food plot is to have it more attractive than anything else that's in the woods. That's why you do it. It's a hunting spot. You're going to attract deer, grow deer, shoot deer.
Right.
That's the whole life cycle. So if you can do all those stages, which you got to start off with stage one, that's the nutrition side. To attract, to hold, to grow, so you can shoot.
Yep, straight down to a soil sample.
Soil sample
always starts there.
Always starts with soil sample, and then the nutrition, all that. But the cool thing about antler grow is you can add a lot of those nutrients
directly to the plant
that the soil is lacking.
Right.
That is what changes the whole game, no matter where you are in the country.
And it doesn't do anything to the soil. So when you add it to the plants, the leaves absorb it. So like on your brassicas, they're not going to grow back. But when a deer takes a bite of that, he just got a whole pound full of mineral.
What we have found is a lot of cases, not every case, everybody has their own. A lot of cases, what happens is when that deer is healthy, you're able to get more days because they start getting bone back, going into the velvet stage earlier because they're healthy. When the reason that the antlers fall off is because the new ones are pushing out, right?
Yep.
Well, there's so many days, goes through a little lax period, all that kind of stuff, but the nutrients in the body is what makes everything go. So if you can get a few extra days and get an extra 1/8 inch a day, because of nutrition, over that certain growing period of the antlers, huge.
You add an extra 10, 15, 20 inches a year.
Absolutely.
On it. And there's nothing magic.
No.
There's nothing magic. You can't dump something on the ground, spray it, and all of a sudden you got big deer in 6 months.
No.
That's the mentality that some people have.
Yes.
They go, like we talked earlier, you go to the store, people buy something and just dump it on the ground, think they're benefiting.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they see big deer, but they didn't grow the big deer in 6 months. It just doesn't work that way. So it takes years and years and years and years.
I think of throwing stuff on the ground like buying a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
1 out of 1 billion is going to get lucky.
Right.
And it's not that the mineral did it or whatever they dumped on the ground did it. It's they were in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
Now you think of nutrition, food plots, natural browse, crops, and all that, like a 401k. You're putting in every single day. You don't realize it. What you're doing after so much time, you're looking, you're like, holy smokes, look what I got.
Right.
Now that's a slow process.
Yeah.
Yes, but
birthdays. Every birthday.
Birthday's what grows.
Yeah.
Birthdays, nutrition, and we can't control genetics.
Right.
No matter who says we can, we can't. We're not a deer pen. You got a controlled environment. You can buy semen from this state, from that state. Get all that. Create your own gene, your own everything. You're talking about wild deer that 99.9% of us hunt.
Right.
And I love free range.
Yeah.
I got nothing against high fence. We do a lot of stuff with high fence, but they get the nutrition through the stuff that they grow for the deer because the deer don't sit there and eat 6-7 pounds of stuff out of the trough feeder every day. Well, what does that deer do? He browses around inside that pen.
Yeah. They travel majority of the day, a lot of times of the day, and they bite here, bite there, bite there.
That's natural.
As they browse.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, the pen, they're working solely off genetics.
Yeah.
Genetics. We're working off age and nutrition.
Yeah.
The two things that we can control.
Mm-hmm. And they're wild deer, so it's hard to benefit
Yes.
all the deer. You
Yes.
know what I mean? They're wild. They can go anywhere. They can be 3 miles down the road.
Yeah.
You know, so it just takes a lot of work and, you know, a lot of
It
stuff
does.
like that.
But the cool thing is about this is there's no batteries.
Nope, no batteries.
Doesn't mold. Doesn't rot. You know,
Doesn't spook anything.
No, doesn't spook anything. There's no red flags saying, "Hey, I'm over here," because there's a pile there in front of
Right.
me. You know, they just walk through there naturally. When they walk through there the first time, they're like, whatever that was over there, I want more because that felt good in my body.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's like when you drink a big juice or something. You know, you just feel it going through your veins. You're just like,
Mhm.
oh man, I feel healthy today.
Exactly.
You know, and this deer the same way.
Deer know it too.
They live by their stomachs. They live by safety. If you can get something to where it benefits their stomach and attract them that way,
Mhm.
and have the safest place around, you're gonna have the deer.
Exactly. Well, guys, we're going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. And thanks.
Yep, for sure.
See you guys.
Be good, guys.